Do we have any apologies for absence?
Yes, we've got an apology from Councillor Mike Cole.
And we know that Councillor Richard Crumley is substituting for Councillor Ellen Crumley. And we may find Councillor Aldis Cotton and Councillor Christine Rice may join us. Do we have any declaration? Oh, I ought to also make members aware the meeting is being visually and audio recorded for publication on the Thatcham Town Council YouTube channel. So behave yourselves. If you want to, let's stay courteous. I'm sure we will. Are there any declarations of interest? Councillor Pike.
As Family Fun Day is on the agenda, President at Pennick Lane.
Thank you very much. Councillor Crumley.
There's an item, Platinum in the park, a reference to Thatcham Memorial Foundation. I presume that's the Mem Hall over the way. I'm one of the trustees.
Are you indeed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, very good. Let's take the minutes then of the meeting on the 11th of April, chaired by Councillor John Boyd, and on your papers, 46, 47. Can I take those as a true record of the meeting? So proposed, thank you, Councillor Boyd. Seconded, thank you, Councillor Crumley. Is that fine favour? Please show. Thank you very much. You might need to sign your copy, John.
Please.
Thank you. I think I only signed the one page.
I can do that.
The 13th, isn't it? 13/6/22. And it's possible, John, that I have to initial this page.
Yep.
Okay, so definitely just initial this page. I'm not absolutely sure, but so to do. Thank you. And so with those standard points out of the way, matters arising from previous meeting. Have a look if there were any points outstanding. I can't see any matters arising that we would need an update on here, John.
Okay.
So I'm going to move on from that and move to the item number 5, which is the Queen's celebrations and a reflection on those. You will introduce, I think, John, will you?
Yep.
Good evening, Councillor.
Hello, good evening. My apologies.
Good evening. You turn it this way because I can't see you.
Oh, is now this.
Who you are.
Okay.
You know who you are. Councillor Sackett. Mr. Sackett.
Oh, Councillor
I've
Sackett.
elevated you. Elevated.
Unelected Councillor
Indeed,
Sackett.
indeed.
Yeah, Queen's Platinum Jubilee, the detail is in the report. The two major events we've commented on the beacon lighting event and the Platinum in the Park events. There are some points for members please to consider and some recommendations that we'd ask members to consider. And I will go straight on to those recommendations, but more than happy if councillors would like more detail and information about those specific events. The first is that members note the cancellation of Platinum in the Park, which is obviously in the past tense, the event has passed, and approve the transfer of fireworks spend from the event to the beacon lighting event. And the second recommendation is that members approve the transfer of the finances for the stage, bus stage and the PA system to Family Fun Day, and also provide an allowance of £600 towards the stage content from the existing funds allocated towards the Jubilee into Family Fun Day.
So if I may add to that,
Please do.
and
Chairman.
to be, John and I have stayed very close in terms of these events. The beacon lighting, I think, was a tremendous success. The Platinum in the Park was neither a success or a failure as it didn't take place. And let's be quite clear, we were supporting the Memorial Hall Foundation to run that event. So they were unable to attract the funds they needed to do it justice. That's how it happened. And we then had to consider a variety of points. One is that the fireworks, we were in for £1,500. We may have been able to recover our deposit of £750, 50%. It may not, it was at risk. John came to me and I said, could we move those fireworks to the beacon lighting event, and therefore the cost of it, which from this chair, I think was a tremendous success and gave the beacon lighting event something extra that a lot of other beacon lighting events didn't have. So, you know, it's an ill wind that blew the fireworks from Platinum in the Park to the beacon lighting, but actually, I think that was good value. And as I say, we may not have recovered all of our sunk cost. We may have. Equally, the £1,622 we'd committed to the stage bus company, and you know what that looks like. That's the lorry that attended our Christmas lighting with a PA system and the ability to hold acts on the lorry, open lorry. That was also at risk. We committed to have that on the 3rd of June, 4th of June, this Saturday. And suddenly, would we have got our money back? So again, John quite rightly came to members, came to Mel and said, can we transfer that facility to the fund day? Now, there's a little bit of playing catch up here. I accept these things have happened ahead of this events committee, but I hope you'll agree that these were sensible decisions we made. What it also did, because you've got now a stage at the fund day, there wasn't much content going on the stage. And John has come forward this evening to say, could he invest £600 into some activities for the stage? And it enriches our fund day. It does. Yeah, so it was very sad, through no fault of this council, that we lost the Platinum in the Park party, but it does look like it may enhance the experience, has enhanced the experience on the beacon lighting, and will for the fun day. Does that all make sense? Are there any loose ends you'd like us to flesh out? We'll go back. I'll go back to the
There's a comment about this specifically. Actually, I think the fireworks probably worked better as part of the beacon because it was a more condensed event. If it had been part of the Platinum in the Park, it would have been at the end of quite a long day when people would have gone.
Well, we didn't design it like that,
I think-
but it happens or serendipity or whatever you want to say.
Exactly. Yes.
It made our own events better. So that's where we were coming from in terms of what we've done. Now, I also need to say to you that Councillor Cole, our finance lead, has marked my card very seriously in terms of, and John's aware of this, Mike Aslin, Mel's aware of this. Any underspend in a given activity must go back to central funds. That's the way we're going to proceed in the future. Because Councillor Cole and the clerk are saying this could be a tough year. We could have inflationary pressures on several of our budget lines. And so we cannot assume in any service line, any service department, that if we've underspent on something, that just is used in another part of that service area. It's not, and you get that, yeah. So, you know, I'm recording that, if you like, for the minutes. But in this case, we not just cut our losses, we use the facilities very well, I think. So,
Chairman, can I add one other point? There was a third element as well, Chairman, which was the big screen.
yes,
So the big screen, members, that was again booked for Platinum in the Park. The intention was for the members of the public to stay at the event and see the big concert that some of you probably saw on television at the outside Buckingham Palace, basically. So the cost of that was £4,093. It was a significant cost. Again, we paid a deposit, 50% deposit of that. but due to the goodwill that the town council has with the light media display company, they agreed to give us a credit note for the entire amount back. So there was no cost to the council, despite their T's and C's, which meant that if the event had been cancelled 6 weeks before, which in fact it was 6 weeks before Platinum the Park was cancelled, we were liable for all of that fund.
And
So
I think you did extremely well to negotiate that.
thank you.
Very well done. Because that would have been sizable and we wouldn't have had anything to show for it. So all in all, I'm sort of proposing that we via those sums in the way I've described. And John is also putting forward a recommendation for further £600 for stage events. But before I go on to that, we'll come back to that. I think there's a few comments I'd like to tease out of you about the beacon lighting event, both the good and maybe areas where we could have improved. Any comments? I'm opening up to John. You start.
Yeah, I just want to say that I felt it was a huge success, and really what we were just discussing, or you were giving us the information, the fact that the fireworks went off at the end, I think that actually enhanced it, because it would have fallen a little bit flat. You know, the beacon had gone off, and if that was the point where everybody then started to disappear, it would have been a little bit flat. So I think it was a good call, and yeah, unfortunate, but a happy outcome at the end.
Okay. Councillor Lillicrop, and then I'll take Councillor Cromwell and no Councillor Pike wants to come in.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I mean, I'd agree with the comments that have already been made. I think it was an exceptionally good evening. A lot of people came not knowing what to expect. A lot of us who were involved in the organisation came not knowing quite what to expect. It was a very important local event for us, marking the Jubilee as it did. I think the solution that John's negotiated with our suppliers in reallocating those funds was very successful. As Councillor Pike said, it was probably more effective having the fireworks at the end of the beacon event than at the end of a longer day. And I guess I'd also like to say thank you to our suppliers for being so flexible and making sure that the event was the success that it was.
Thank you, Councillor Cromwell.
Thank you, Chairman. Ellen and I attended. I would have thought off the top. Well, we discussed together how many people there were, and I think we could put it over 2,000. But of course, that is just our assessment. It could be wrong, so I'd have thought there was more than 1,200. When you compared our beacon to the other beacons shown in the Newbury Weekly News, which went round all the villages and took photos of, I don't know, maybe half a dozen or a dozen beacons, ours seemed comparatively modest. So the fireworks were a welcome and important, I think, supplement to the evening.
Thank you. If I can come back on that, John may wish to as well. John said we had a beacon, and it was what it was. I don't think we could have made a case for saying, let's get a big basket and put a load of hay in it. And, I just felt I couldn't bring to the committee, let's spend a couple of thousand quid on a new beacon. So it was what it was, and I don't think it disgraced us, but the fireworks gave it that extra something. Would that be reasonable?
Yeah, but that was what I was, I think, trying to say.
That's fine.
Thank you. So I agree with everything that's been said up to now. It was a very successful event, but I think it's the first outdoor event we've done for some time in the late evening. So I had a couple of learnings. Firstly, there were some problems with the sound, and I think that was down to the contractor, and I'll discuss offline the details of that. Okay. And secondly, I think that some of the events in the arena would have benefited from lighting, and I think there are ways of doing that where we might be able to attain that, and I'll talk offline with John about that as well.
Well, I'm grateful for that, and I know that you have particular skills in that.
Yeah.
And so anything we can.
Thinking actually of another source in the town, but yes.
Yeah. So if you could take that offline to John, and John will always say, not putting words in your mouth, that there will be financial restraints.
Yeah.
But I said to him before the meeting, put up the optimum and we'll see whether we can afford it. Is that fair, John?
Yeah, just very quick counter to that. I entirely agree with you, but exactly as the chairman said, was that the event wasn't designed initially to have a fireworks event. So the sound system that was brought in was designed for a different type of show. So we torpedoed across the fire, whatever, torpedo, is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word.
No, we
took
buy
across
it, the money.
Fine.
Okay.
But no allowance for an improved
It
sound
wasn't, it
system.
wasn't actually at the fireworks, there were technical problems during the planned events, so I'll talk to you offline about that. And the lighting, I think, would be no cost, so that would.
Oh, okay, I like the
Thank you for
sound of
that. And you know, let's put you two together.
Thank
Councillor
you.
Cotton, Lordis.
Better say something. Thank you, Simon, for reminding me. There was a problem with the sound. And somebody was saying there were the people at the back, and somebody with a third, it was interfering. I mean, that should be covered, but that was. Other than that, it was just brilliant. Really enjoyed it. I was so relieved when people started arriving, and when I turned around, I thought, wow. So lots of people came, like our music director said, you bring children in, you bring the parents in, and you bring everybody. So let's do it again.
I agree. Aunties, uncles, grannies, grandma, everybody, brothers, sisters. And if you were standing in front of them, I think the sound carried reasonably well. I did get buttonholed by people behind them who said, I can't hear much, but that's a small constructive point that we can improve on. Yep.
Maybe we could have moved the children closer to the.
Everything's
I'll talk offline with John about
Yeah, that's
the
fine.
technicalities of
very good.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So we are being, Councillor.
Yeah, just one thing, Chair, it occurs to me, that we ought to thank the various groups that took part in that event. I mean, we had some quite large groups of young people there. And you know, just the way the whole event flowed with all the different types of entertainment, you know, it was a seamless activity. There were some great moments that I noticed, like when the crowds started lighting up their phones and taking part
Rather magical,
in the
wasn't it?
event. Moments unexpected like that. And I think, you know, it all came together. Everybody was there and really wanted to enjoy themselves. And I think it all came together in quite a magical experience.
But you make a good point, and it reminds me that I've asked Georgina to develop a card that the mayor can send, thanking people, inviting them, acknowledging something in the community. And I don't just mean a Facebook entry, or I mean a physical card. It may be a little bit late to send to the schools now, because the card will be a couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
But it's something I think the mayor from this year and onwards can just sign a card and say, thank you for your support. And that's being looked at by Georgina. So
Could I just add, sorry, just as a follow-up to that one point, Chairman? One of the things that they were very grateful for, all the participants, including stewards, and some of them were quite surprised to get it, was the memento of the Jubilee
right.
memento. So
Excellent. Yes.
we've had some really
Well done.
lovely emails back as well from
Well
some
done.
of the acts. So that was a nice bonus. So to
I
speak.
agree. Well done. And we could easily have forgotten that. I did, as I gave them out, said I don't want to see these on eBay tomorrow. But well done. Yes, very, very good point. There's somebody coming in with a big parcel. It's not a bomb. Want to go and find out what he's delivering? Because all he's doing is leaving it there and scarpering.
It's come and gone.
So it's due to go off in about 10 minutes. So what we're being asked to do is support the moving of the fireworks. A little bit late, we're playing catch up. To support the stage bus to the fun day, and to support a £600 spend towards stage content. If you want to give us any more detail about that stage content, but we're being asked to support those movements of funds. John, did you want to keep that as a big surprise? Because you haven't
Unless
talked to them
members are keen to know, I think it's a really good kind of lineup of community-based events, from live music, bands to open mic. to some other community activity.
Very good.
So I'm very pleased with what we've got.
So I'm proposing that from the chair. Are you okay?
Sorry, I was just going to say, if it's anything like the Festoff.
Yeah, so with that, are you prepared to propose the recommendation?
Yes.
Okay, that we move the fireworks, we move the stage bus, we add £600 to the fun day event.
Yeah.
Did that get a seconder? And all those in favour? Thank you very much indeed. Back to you now, John, on fun day and events for the rest of the year, a general update, sir.
This is a report just for members to know, but obviously if members have got any questions, or any thoughts or comments or wanting an update, then please do ask me. So if we take it from Family Fun Day, events going as planned. We have in the report it says 60 applications. I've now been given an update from Georgina to say that total is 91.
Are they all coming?
We can never guarantee that, but they're out of that 91, they have written to us and told us they're coming. So it's.
So last year we had considerably less than that, didn't we?
We did, although we were surprised last year because of the pandemic, the numbers that attended. So if they all come and they do say they're coming, the mix of charity, not-for-profit, sports clubs, commercial and caterers, and I'll labour the point for caterers because that was one of the things that we were short of last year. Again, pandemic was, we believe, to blame, but we've got a total of 16 catering vans of a really nice mixed disposition. So things we feel are on track the weather is kind to us and the gods are kind to us. We believe that in terms of that particular element, as well as the attractions that we've got,
Sure.
and with the addition now that members have agreed with the stage bus, we think we've got a high quality event that we're looking forward to.
And you may not know, but it might be worth reminding us how many stall holders, if you want to call them that, did we have pre-pandemic, so 2019? You may not know, but maybe we're sort of looking back, because I got a feeling that could be a record.
Yeah, I think it was in the figure of around about 40, but we've added sports clubs to that list as well. We're talking 47.
That's going to be a busy field and plenty for people to see and get involved in.
So sorry, Chairman.
John,
No, I was just going to come in. When you were talking about the catering, it's something that I'm working with Reverend David Taylor. As you may recall, the refugees up in the Regency Park Hotel, one of the big things was they were bored stiff, not being able to do anything. Well, we've invited some of the ladies from El Salvador who are going to come along, and they're going to cook something from El Salvador. We're probably going to provide them with a gazebo. I'm getting hold of the cooking equipment, and then they're going to get all the ingredients and put something on. But like I say, Reverend David Taylor is going to organise that, because it's something that's come in very late in the day, and the events team are just too busy to
delightful.
But it's a nice thing, I think, for us to do, and
Excellent.
for some of the refugees to come down and perhaps get involved in the whole event.
And you remind me that they have come down to the club here, the cricket club. There are a couple of cricketers, I think, at the RPH. And the chairman of the cricket club, I think Ian is the chairman, has invited the mayor to put a team in his six-a-side tournament and the second Saturday of September. So if you want to brush up your pads, I'll be looking for a scratch team. I think you look like an opening batsman to me.
Wicket keeper. You do not look like a team captain. If you think that.
Okay. Well, I was the school cricket captain, but it was hundreds of years ago. So.
From there.
Can I say I'd be glad to
Would you?
to put some pads on and.
Oh,
and stuff.
fantastic. There you are. I've got 2 of me 6. Lourdes is another one.
They don't-
Just, we have,
Can women do that?
we have diversity, you know, equality and diversity. So, you know, Rachel Hayhoe Flint. I'll be trying to tap up people.
Chairman, can I just say that councillor Lourdes Cotton looks as though she'd be quick between the wickets?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Absolutely. And we're descending in the cacao. So let's go.
Diversity of ability.
Oh, okay, all right.
Just one other thing about,
Yes,
about
yes.
Sunday.
Fun day, yeah.
About the refugees, if you could inform through the usual channels that I think they would be welcome to attend as well.
Can you feed that back to Karen Reed? Thank you very much, John. Excellent. So the fun day is looking very buoyant. That 91 is very satisfying. And I think it is a sort of bounce back from COVID, that people have got the confidence to commit. And you've got a lot of work to do, I'd imagine, laying out your plan for the field.
Yes, but we've already we've got a site plan A and B as a contingency as well. So we're fully ready to start sending the information out to all the attractions and so on. So, yeah.
And how on the day do they know where to go? 91 stallholders. Do you physically white line and mark out the pitches?
We do the day before, and we also, which is part of the reason why we need a good team of people on the day. And I'm delighted to say quite a few members have agreed to be to support us on the day. So in addition to that, we have various stewards guiding the stallholders and people in and so on. So, but it will be sizable this year. I forgot to mention two other things to look forward to, which are new for this year, is the dance zone. So we haven't had a dance zone before, and that's made up through a lot of the dance companies that we may have seen at a previous Thatcham festival. So that's something to look forward to. The climbing wall is returning as well. So I think it's going to be hopefully a very good event.
Did you want to come in?
Yes, the comment I was going to make is that given the challenges of parking, I don't know if you're aware that for a recent event, they used the upper field, which we don't use, as additional parking space. So if you haven't discussed that, that would be helpful if that could be included. That's an extra 250 car parking spaces.
Yeah, we actually used that as the overflow last year.
Okay.
So that was used, and we definitely are very aware of there's parking issues.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
As long as that's,
So you'll take that up with Paul Henry?
Yeah, that's
Richard
already,
Jackson,
yes,
So
that's
that
already.
they're aware.
And there's a few other things we're looking to do to improve that. So thank you.
Excellent. Okay, members, I think we're asked to note the report, and we look forward to 2 weeks Sunday. No, week of this coming Sunday.
It's coming
So
fast. Yeah.
we're 11 days away from it. May the weather hold.
Too late for this. Excuse me, Chair. But following John's idea, I thought, what about asking our dear Mr. Santos?
Yes, Pedro, yes, Santos.
Pedro Santos, who was so enthusiastic to get acquire with the asylum seekers, but I'm looking at tourists. Forget it.
Okay,
Like to form a group.
fantastic.
But I don't know anything about Mr. Santos for the time. Or...
Do you want me to pass on his details to you, Councillor Cotton? Sorry, I should have
Isn't
got
it
that.
great?
Fine, absolutely.
Okay, brilliant.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we note that report, members. And we come to item 7, which is the temporary social media events assistant. Back to you, John. I think you can explain that this is something we haven't done before and we've done it effectively before.
Yeah, I mean, members may well have, within the report, you may well have noticed that in the last 2 years, we've had a Bournemouth University graduate in their event placement year, which we don't have this year. However, what that's determined, we believe, is that there is absolutely for Thatcham Festival an opportunity that we would like to continue. The skill set that they provided was very much in connection with social media. And as a result, Thatcham Festival has grown. It's also moved with the times because obviously social media is something that is pretty much, you know, what every organisation and people and how they communicate. The second thing which we're put into this report is and bizarrely or coincidentally, COVID actually made this something that had to happen, is the whole concept of live streaming. So through COVID, we live streamed some events in 2020, and we continue to do a little bit of that last year in 2021, but we're limited even with the event placement. So what we're keen to do is bring in a temporary social media, in inverted commas, because that's their skill set, event assistant for a short temporary duration with those skill sets, which we believe will really enhance Thatcham Festival, down to the fact that what we'd like to do is at certain key events also live stream them. So in effect, we have two events. We have a live event and the ability to be able to attract people that are beyond Thatcham or in Thatcham but don't want to come out. So that's, you know, the proposal is that we'd like members to consider the ability for us to be able to have the resources. And one of the things we'd like to consider is whether the financial amount that we saved from that element of the screen that we can bring across and help to pay for this assistant for this period.
And therefore, thank you. If you look at number 4, financial implications, there was a maximum figure of £13,000 for the Jubilee. We spent roughly half of that. So we would look to that budget for this £810, which is match funding, I understand, with a good exchange. Have I got that right? I'm looking at number 4 here. Financial implications.
It's always a risk to be able to generate that much funding, but we've had a good track record in terms of success on applications.
For the avoidance of doubt, we may need the 1,620, but we're looking to defray that by up to 50%.
Correct.
Thank you very much. Let's be clear what we're voting for. And again, I would say, members, I've talked to both Councillor Cole and the clerk about this, and on this occasion, we look okay, but it's not a precedent for the rest of the year. I say that to you, I say it to the officers as well, and I say it because if Mr. Councillor Cole had been here tonight, he'd be saying it. But for this evening, I'm proposing from the chair that we approve the spend of £1,620. Let's be clear about that. So the recommendation is actually the members approve of £1,620 for the post of a temporary social media events assistant, but this may reduce because of inward support from the Good Exchange. And that's more of the recommendation we're asking for the proposal. Okay, do I have a second of that?
I'd like to second
John,
that.
thank you very much. All those in favour? That's excellent. Thank you ever so much. And then we come to the budget now. Of course, we're only a month or so into this budget year. And so if you look at the pages, you won't see much spent yet. But again, I'll act like Councillor Cole and say, do you anticipate any overspends on any of these lines at this stage, Mr. Sackett?
Chairman, no, we don't.
Thank you. And you might want to record that in the minutes. Although it's early in the year, we don't see any financial pressures on our budget at this stage. If anything, we're under because of the Platinum in the Park. Any questions on that?
Yes, just one, Chairman. So we're at the beginning of the year. When, for the purpose of this budget, when did it start? I'm no accountant. Is it what, starting on the 1st of April? Or?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's probably something like, yeah, the 1st of April. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So it's only just started.
Councillor Boyd.
Yeah, could I just ask that with the Thatcham Family Fun Day only a couple of weeks away, do you have somebody in mind for the post of social media person?
Can I answer that?
Please.
Okay, so we don't have anyone in mind. As we were hoping that we'd be able to, and we have advertised widely in terms of the Bournemouth University, but we have no one in mind. So it's an open opportunity. So we would like to be able to advertise any recommendations.
Can you do
please
that
forward?
at a minimum cost?
Yes, we can.
Very good. There will be plenty of forums you can go and make people aware that this post is available.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, we're asked to note the budget year to date. So noted, members? Happy? Thank you. And at 7:37, thank you for your attendance. More done, John.